Well, on this side we've got some New Zealand's and Netherlands horse mixed together here. This is Jazz. I can't say he's grown up to be a big bunny, because he was already a big bunny when we got him. He was about 1.5 years old. But he's doing good. He's still with us. I have a couple of does that I think he is bred with. We hope he's bred with, and we might get some broken babies. He's shedding. He's molting pretty good. He's going to blow out some of this old nasty coat and grow in some nice shiny new ones to keep him warm this winter. He's a pretty good bunny. He tolerates handling pretty well. Like all of them, they prefer to be in the cage. I can reach in the cage here and he'll let me pet him all day long, but he don't like me picking him up and pulling him out of the cage much like I did. Yeah, he's a big bunny. And he smells dough. I've been holding does. He smells dough on my hand. I hope he don't try to spray me here in a minute. Okay, buddy, we just wanted to say hi. He says, hey, you didn't give me no lady this time. I think that's why the bucks always get so much friendlier than the does. Every time they see you, or a lot of the time they see you, you're bringing them a girlfriend, so they get to where they like seeing you come along. But that could just be my theory. Wouldn't be the first time I didn't know what I was talking about. Anyway, I'm going to snap this open. Now, see, with these little guys, they're a little easier. See, I can get my hand around the whole thing and just, as long as he don't start kicking and scratch up my fingers, I'm okay. But this guy doesn't have a name. He's not going to be staying. This is Pepper's son, and we showed you Pearl. Now, this is the one that was removed from Pearl's cage already. Now, the little blue buck that you saw was still there. That's litter mate to this one. They're brothers. What you say? What you say, little buddy? He needs to molt. He's looking really shabby. See, there's a lot of, it looks blue down in there. And a lot of that's going to come out. He should be sleek and black and shiny just like his daddy, and he soon will be again. That's just him getting ready for winter. He's just a young guy. He'll molt 3 or 4 more times before he reaches adulthood at about 5 months old. Here's Pepper. Yep. Uh-oh, sorry. I slapped him on the nose with the door. I'm sorry, buddy. Pepper's getting to be an old guy, but see how sleek and shiny this fur is? Now, there is some blue down on black. That's correct. But see how sleek and shiny that is? That's the way he'll be eventually. Uh-oh, come here, Pepper. No, you're not going in there yet. Hang on. Hang on. You stink. You stink. You smell like you've been living next door to Bucks. Shoo! You gonna hide? Anyway, Pepper's in a hurry to go back home. Pepper has a litter on the way. Calypso, if she is bred. Uh-oh. You just getting old and clumsy or what? You hit your head? Daddy slaps you in the nose with the door? Makes you wonder how you got to be as old as you are, huh?
Still younger across the way.
Pepper's about 2 years old, but I tell you what, he's still a good brood buck. Okay. Oh my goodness. Come here, Sally. Come here, Sally, baby. Now see this? This is why I made those cages over there 24 inches deep instead of 30. This one's 30 deep. That extra 6 inches would sure make it a lot easier. Now see, this is one of those cases. I have to grab her and scruff her. But I do try to support her with the other hand as soon as I can, and I let go. See? I don't like having to do that. If you've got a better way of doing it, I'm all ears. But you're probably not going to be able to describe it to me in a comment. You're probably going to have to send me a video response. If you've got a better way, I'd be happy to try it your way. But folks, quit flaming me in the comments if you can't tell me a better way. Don't just tell me I'm wrong. Tell me a good way. If I agree that it's a better way, I'll do it that way. But some people just want to be negative and say everything that you're doing is wrong. But I don't see their videos on YouTube about how to do it right. So it doesn't really, you see what I'm saying? I don't put a lot of stock into it. Sally is due to be palpated actually on Tuesday. But we'll try real quick if she'll let us. Because if I get her too upset, she's going to bite me. Sally's not a mean rabbit, but if I get her upset, she'll bite me. She's done it a couple times, and she's bit Dana too. I can't tell anything like this. I'm gonna wait a few more days. There was a good mating with her and Winter. Oh, look at that pretty white fur. Look at that. She's molted good and grown that all back in good since she's been with us. But she don't like to come out of the cage, but once we get her out, we weighed her not that long ago, and her mama Rosie is almost back up to 10 pounds, and she was 9 pounds from 5 ounces the other day. So Well, that's what she weighed when we rebred her, so she might be 10 now. We just don't know. I'm gonna try this, see if I can get her going that way without scratching me. There you go, baby. Yeah. Now you gonna stomp at me? She usually gets over there on that ceramic tile that I gave her to help her be more comfortable, and uses it to stomp on to show her displeasure of me. Okay, now we'll. I keep tugging on my britches, folks. Sorry about that, but I guarantee you, if they ever actually fall down, you'll be wishing I had been tugging on them a little more. This is Jasper. He also needs to blow a coat, and he's even got some little white hairs in here. And I think this is stuff getting ready to come out. If it turns out that this is actual color in his white, then see, Pepper doesn't have that. This is something that's come out in the breeding. And if it turns out that this is in fact gray white hairs that's growing in, then I would probably let Pepper go to somebody as a pet and see if I can get this little guy to raise up in his place. But unfortunately, I've already got one litter on the way out of Jasper with Pearl. Provided there was conception that took place. But see, he's got fur that's coming out all over his face. Now, this might all be good once he blows all this out. But this is Jasper, and Jasper is, I can't remember if I think he's 5 months old. I think he's a month younger. He might just be 4 months old. And I take that back. Calypso's 7 months old, and he's 5 months old. That's what it is. So, because there was about 2 months between the litters. Something like that. Between their births. Or something like that. Actually, that don't sound right either, because there's usually more time than that between litters. I don't know. But anyway, he's old enough to breed because I saw it. This next little guy here, this is Casanova. You've met him before. He was a lot smaller. This is Squirrely Girl's brother, and he has a pedigree, but he has no body type. I'm sorry. Quit putting your toenail down there. He just doesn't have a proper Netherland dwarf body type, so at least he hasn't shown it to me yet. And I doubt if I can even get him to show anything. Here, sit up here, buddy. Here, come. Yeah, see, I don't handle him enough to really. Here, no, raise your head up. Raise your head up. Yeah, sit up there a little bit. He's just not. His ears aren't too bad, and his head's not too bad. But I don't know. I'm just not happy with the way he turned out, and his color for a Himalayan. This color is awful. Awful's good compared to this. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with him. Don't know what I'm going to do with him. He needs to be somebody's pet. He does have a full pedigree, but I've got rabbits out here that don't have a single generation on their pedigree, and they are better rabbits than this. So pedigree doesn't always mean you're buying quality. That's just the trap I fell into with these guys, because they were 8 weeks old, and you can't really evaluate them that young. Even a Netherland, you can't really evaluate them when they're that young. And what have you. So, and sometimes I think some of Marble's spirit remains right here with this cage. You don't believe me? Watch this. Hey, Annabelle. Hey, Annabelle. Hey, baby. You've seen me handle Annabelle before, right? Now watch. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Watch her. See her? Just like Marble. She's just like Marble. She's just like Marble. Yep. Isn't that? Now, look, I might be being silly and a little silly in the spiritual sense, but she wasn't acting like that. She was acting a little grumpy, but she come over here to this cage, and she immediately, it's like Marble, quit now, bite me now, and I'll play with you, but yeah, get over there in your corner and sit down. This is what made me fall in love with Marble. She was like that. She would reach up, slap at my hand, but once I got my hand over to her ears and pressed down on her back, just get over there and lay down. Marble was fine. She'd lay down there in the corner and kind of squint up her eyes a little bit and just let me pet and love all over. But it was getting my hand to her was what was the thing. And once I did, Marble was fine. But if my hand was coming at her, she was ready to slap at me. Ain't that right, Annabelle? Oh, you scared me that time. Yep, she's a little Marble. Anyway, she is recently bred for the first time. I think she'll settle down a lot. She hasn't been acting like this. And about the time she started to reach sexual maturity, she started acting a little grumpy and she started growling. And I've had rabbits to do that. And they'll act like that until they're bred for the first time. And they go through and they have that first litter. And then after that, they settle down. I can't explain it, you know, or anything like that. One thing I can guarantee, she's slapping with paws. But one thing I guarantee is we're not going to. If she gets to the point to where if she doesn't calm down, if she gets to the point where she's gonna bite and bring blood and what have you, then we're not gonna tolerate that. She'll have to go on down the road. But if you know us at all, we give a rabbit way more chances than most people would to get things right before we'll get rid of them. And then we'll give somebody else the opportunity to try if they would like before we would put her down, because she is a nice doe. She is bred. Hopefully to Jasper. Annabelle is due to all of our Netherlands, with the exception of Sangria, of course, is.
I mean New Zealand's.
What did I say?
Netherlands.
Oh well, they start with the same letter. all of the big rabbits, the ones that get big enough to eat, they are all due, with the exception of Sangria, on the 28th, assuming they're bred. So we'll move on around the corner here. You may or may not have an interest in this. But I got a little story to tell you. This little lady was due to have her first litter of babies. Look at her, isn't she gorgeous? Look at that. Remember Sangria? She is Blunt's Mountaintop and Rum Buns Pine Bluff. Mountaintop and Pine Bluff. She came to us from Grace Hollow Rabbitry. PJ owned both of their parents at that time. And I have discovered recently that she has since sold both of Sangria's parents, so she has neither of Sangria's parents anymore. So I guess it's a good thing we got her when we did. But this past Thursday, she was due to kindle her first litter. Friday morning, she finally did. On the wire. Remember all that talking I do about the nest boxes, and I've never had a litter of rabbits born on the wire since I've used these nest boxes? Well, this little witch right here, she ruined all that. I had an undefeated streak on having babies born on the wire with these nest boxes until Sangria came along.
But in a positive note,
she had them right here. Now the good news is she had them in the morning at such a time that Dana gets up anyway and takes Austin, our son, to football practice. He's got before school football practice in the morning. So she came out here, she looked out the kitchen window and saw something wiggling around out here in the nest box. And she's got pretty excited. She threw on some clothes and she ran around and back. And there's 5 in total. One of them was in the nest box. The other 4 were on the wire. She picked them all up. Some of them were still wet, right? Mm-hmm. So they weren't, but they had just been born.
They were just born.
So if she hadn't caught them when she did, if she hadn't looked out the window getting a drink of water or whatever she was doing that morning, they might have laid out here long enough to chill, because it was kind of chilly that morning. And it doesn't have to be very cold for a newborn rabbit that's wet and everything to chill them and die. She put them in the nest box. Sangria had made a little nest over here. Right over here, a nice little hole of a nest or whatever. But when the time came, she wouldn't put her big butt in there and let her have her babies there. So, I love her, but I've already threatened to make her a hot tub out of the crock pot. She didn't pull any fur and line this nest. So, Dana, should we demonstrate real quick what we did?
Sure.
We expressed our love for Sangria. Come here, fat lady. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's still big.
It ain't that. Her milk's in. Oh, look at that rubber belly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get some chunkers out of this litter. Okay, now how did I do that?
You just flip her over.
I flipped her over right like that.
And I actually started pulling fur from right here.
just pluck a little bit if there's any loose there. That's what she would do normally, herself. And she's pulled more since then. But we took and pulled the fur just like that out of her dewlap. And we put it down in there because it was supposed to get... We waited a whole day to see if Sangria was going to do it and cover them up and what have you. She didn't do it. So it was getting on nightfall that Friday night after they were born. And we came in from... Where did we go? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to burn out my brain trying to remember. So anyway, that's what we did. Careful, baby. Okay. So we pulled a whole bunch of that out. And we put it down there. That night it was supposed to get down to 49 degrees. Well, now a litter of bunnies can live down in the below zero temperatures. But they were just a pile of bunnies in this little hole of straw right here with nothing covering them up. Now normally Mama will go and cover them up with straw, and she'll cover them up with fur. She'll pull more fur and cover it all up, okay? She didn't do that. They were just, the top of the nest was just open, and all you could see was babies laying in there, so we wanted to protect them from the cold. So we expressed our love for, maybe we were just a little bit unfair because it was her first time, but it was Hershey's first time too, and look at what a good job Hershey did. So it just goes to show you, no two rabbits are the same, you know? Sometimes I wonder, in breeding show rabbits, a lot of times we have to breed them so closely. You know, their breeding lines are so close that maybe we just breed a lot of that instinct out of them. The good news is we put that fur on there that first night, and since then she has pulled a lot of fur out from around her nipples, on her belly and what have you, and she has made what you see here, because we put just enough to put down in that hole and cover. And by the next day they had taken most of that fur and wallared it down to the bottom to where they were actually laying on it like they should have been in the first place. So since then Sangria has pulled this and put more on top. So we did it, and then she saw what we did, and evidently she got the hint. So she's a little bit smarter than I gave her credit for it at first. So I'm sorry about that, baby girl. I was afraid when she didn't pull hair, I was afraid she wasn't going to take care of them. You know, Mustang Sally had a litter a while back. She had 8. And we just watched them die 1 or 2 at a time. She wasn't feeding them. She just ignored the fact that they were there. She didn't pull no fur, no nothing. So I was afraid the same thing was going to happen. But it didn't take us very long, did it, Dana? We found out that Sangria was feeding her babies.
Oh yeah. The next day, when I came out, I noticed she had fed them.
We should have taken some pictures as newborn. So this is Sunday afternoon.
They're 3 days old.
Okay, Chuck telling the story of Sangria's first litter being born. Take 2. Snap. Okay, yeah, we ran out of batteries. We had to start over here, so let me grab a bunny. Sangria's got 5 of these little rascals. Look at them. They're just as pretty as can be. And I don't know how well you can tell in the camera, but look at them bellies.
It looks fat.
They're not quite the chunkers that Hershey's little babies are, but these are only 2 days old. Hershey's are 9 days old. And just feeling the amount of milk that Sangria has had come in to take care of them, I am fairly certain these little rascals, yeah, we'll probably be filling that J feeder up every day before long. Yep, there's number 2. Or this is number 3. Or number 1 that crawled back into the nest while I wasn't looking. Some of them are lighter. Some of them are lighter in color than others. At this point, we don't care about color. By the time they're to the point where it really matters, they're going to be a lot darker than this. It's kind of neat in a way because these little guys at birth were the same size as Hershey's babies at a week old. Sangria may have had fewer babies, but yeah, they were a lot bigger babies. Well, no, I can't say that. She said she had exactly the same amount as Hershey, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
But normally, I would say 8 is a pretty common number.
That one's pretty dark.
Or at least it should be for a New Zealand litter. We shoot for 8, but you never know if you're going to get it or not. My luck, if I had 8, 7 of them would be bucks. But I mean, yeah, people need bucks too. Just people don't need that many bucks as they do does. That's the only drawback. Now all them little rascals are gonna crawl back in the nest, so I'll flip a couple of them out and then see if these down in the bottom look like some I haven't showed you yet.
Oh, this little runt.
Yeah. Now this one is super light, so it's not really hard to tell. It's super light in color. This one's going to take after its daddy, I do believe. Its daddy's real light.
And it's got a little fat belly too.
I'll tell you a little secret while I've got this baby here, if I can. Thank you. That wasn't the secret. Yeah, I carry a napkin around on me all the time. Because if I was holding it the right way, it would have peed all down my shirt anyway. Okay, that wasn't the secret. But, yeah. It's no secret. They will pee on you. Anyway, so if you ever have a doubt, and see, will it focus like this, Dana?
Yeah. I got it.
See on the little baby. See if I pinch its skin. If I can, maybe if I hold its head right there just lightly. Pinch the skin. Now watch. See how it goes back down into position? It's like Fruit of the Loom. It snaps back, pinch after pinch, or wash after wash. See there? Now, if you pinch that up and you let go and you can count to say 4, 5, whatever, and it doesn't flatten back out, you've got a baby that's severely dehydrated. And if you can't get it fed, get some liquid into it, it's probably, it's probably not going to make it. So you need to take some steps. But one sign of a baby not being fed properly is dehydration. Now, bear in mind now, a lot of these does only feed their baby once a day. But this milk is so rich, it's got so many calories in it, one feeding is enough to last them a day, okay? But here's the thing. If they feed them at midnight, every night, like a clock, if you go out here and you do this test on them at 11:30 at night, they might appear to be a little bit dehydrated because they are about to get their next feeding. They've used up most of what they got from their last feeding. So something to keep in mind is it's also relative to the time of day based on when they were last fed that you're doing this test. So don't jump the gun if you come out here and you think, but see that snap back? No, it's just, it'll go right back. See? Pinch that skin up. But anyway, that's Sangria. That's her first litter. And while we didn't catch it on film, we are just as excited, if not more excited about this litter as we are Hershey's litter. Sangria is actually, she's not our first pedigree litter to be born on the homestead here, or at Crow's Nest Rabbitry, as we've chosen to call it. But she is our first pedigreed New Zealand red. She's our first pedigreed New Zealand red litter to be born. The reason, and she would be our first pedigreed New Zealand litter, period, had it not been for the fact that actually Sally did have a litter. It didn't live, but she did have a litter, so that counts. And so actually Sally had our first pedigreed New Zealand litter. Okay? So, Sangria says, okay, I got this. Y'all go on, leave me alone. She said, I was a little shaky out of the gate, but yeah, she's picking up steam now. Ain't you, baby girl? Let me throw some of this hair. If you get in to check your babies, folks, I've had a lot of people tell me, don't handle your baby bunnies or the mama won't take care of them. Folks, that's wild rabbits. These are domesticated. They're used to you handling them. For the most part, they tolerate you handling their babies. Now, if you were watching the film, when I first went to put my hand in the nest after Hershey's babies were born, Hershey wasn't happy about it at all. She came over there real quick, and I thought she was going to bite me on the wrist, and I had to talk to her and pet her a little bit, and then she let me put my hand down in there, and she was okay. But she wasn't happy about it. But it doesn't mean if I stick my hand down there, she's not going to take care of her baby. She is. She would have took care of them regardless. Now, she might have balled up on the back of my hand and told me she didn't want my hand in there, but, you can't blame a rabbit for that. And I don't call that an aggressive rabbit. I call that a good mama. There's a difference in an aggressive rabbit. Annabelle is showing aggressive tendencies, just like I showed you earlier. She's the only one right now, right, that we have that's doing that. Everybody else, and she's probably going to be okay once she kindles that litter. I think she's got a litter in her, and being her first litter, and she was bred a little young, I think she's just a little bit messed up in her way of thinking right now, so to speak, and that'll all iron out. She should have actually been a month, maybe 2 months older. There's just a lot of reasons why I chose to go ahead, and I won't get into all that.
But don't she look so sweet just laying there?
Well, yeah. It's just like my kids. They used to look so cute whenever they were asleep, and then they woke up and you wish they'd go back to sleep. Yeah.
Even Sally's.
Even Sally down there. But look, Annabelle, opposite corner from the ceramic tile that I gave her. But Sally, her butt half is laying right on that tile. I don't know, the big gals like Sally and Sangria, but then again, that's Sangria's favorite corner. I might experiment and move the tile over there and see if she stays in that corner. If she doesn't, that tells me that she doesn't like the tile, and I might just take it out. But some of them, especially the mini Rex, really appreciate it.